Hey everyone. So this is a pretty important video. I've recorded maybe 3 times now and I just don't get it right. It's my 1 year off. 1 year off of benzos at all. I'm not going to do my full story in this one. You have to go to my past videos. But 1 year off. Short story is I was only on benzos for 3 months. Very low dose, 0.25. And it was twice a day, and I got switched over to Klonapin from a doctor, and by the time I ended up off, it was basically a cold turkey from the doctor, even though he claimed it was a taper. But it was only 3 months at a low dose, and a year later I still suffer a lot. So just know that it's not always easy, but I am one of a few, so you might have it a lot easier than me. So anyway, I'm going to try to get this video right. I mean, most of my videos I'm just not giving you the information. You know, it's not enough information. So I'm going to try it this time. A year off, I'm doing better. I'm certainly not where I want to be. I'm guessing I probably have a few years to go before I can really... I'm not even going to say that I'll ever heal. It's so hard to believe. It's just being honest. I have a feeling that some things will linger for a long time. But I have a feeling that I'm going to feel 85% better in a year to 2. That's just hopes. I mean, I was hoping many months ago by year 1 that I would be healed and I wouldn't be worrying about this stuff anymore. But that's not true, so I know reality of all this is tough to deal with. Positives are, you know, I am a lot better than I was. It literally goes month by month. Some months were way worse than months before. It goes up and down. I mean, sometimes it feels like you're going completely backwards. And stress is the killer in all this. And there's no way to stay away from stress. I recently had a flood in my apartment and had to move out within 24 hours. Lived in a hotel for a week. Got my new place, still sitting on chairs. You know, I don't have a lot of furniture yet. You know, waiting for insurance to do their thing. But, you know, that was hell. And before that, I went through like a 2-month wave. You know, all because major stress. So the last few months have been hell. But I've been coming out of my wave for the past like 4 days. Been in my new place for about a month. It's nice. It's the same apartment complex I was in, but I'm now upstairs, 2nd floor, a little bit bigger. Whatever. But things are getting back to normal. Certainly, one of the hardest things I've had to deal with being sick. But how am I feeling now? I mean, there's no way. In all my videos, I always forget. Because there's no way to remember all the symptoms. And I could write them all down and stuff, but you know how it goes. So I'm just going to try to remember off the top of my head and feel what I'm feeling at the moment. And things change so much that you just never know. I mean, an hour from now I can be in pure hell. So, pressure in my head's still there, but it's a lot less. But then again, like, now you got to remember, in waves it's completely different. It might all come back, you know. But as of right now, I mean, things as time progresses, it is a lot less than it used to be. The pressure, you know, the pressure in your head that feels like a vice grip. That's terrible. But it's a lot less. It comes on and off, but it's not as harsh as it used to be. I still get the electrical feeling in my body, but way less. That one's way less. One of the inner movement, the echinacea, whatever it's called, I still have that, but I mean, it's like probably 50% less than it used to be. So if I'm in a wave, it sucks, but like right now I could totally tolerate it. It's probably like 65% less now. um, burning in my face, and oh well, just the whole body. But I've had it in my face in the last week, but it's still there. But again, it's not as bad as it used to be. I get the thing where it feels like your throat is closing, and where your throat gets numb, your mouth gets numb. Sometimes my head gets really numb, and that's the worst. You don't want anything bad to do with your throat, but it's there, you know. Lately I've been constipated. It's crazy, but you know, that's almost good in comparison to the fact that I had really loose stool for the past year. So I think it's trying to regulate, which is great. So now I'm dealing with that one, which is really weird. I have never really dealt with that for a long period of time in my life. So I'm hoping after this one it'll kind of go back to a normal cycle rhythm. You know. I still get these weird movements where it feels like, even though I'm not moving, but it'll feel like my hand will go like this, you know, and it doesn't, but my hand doesn't move. You know, that happens in my legs, and it just feels like an instant move, which is really weird. That hasn't changed at all, and that only happens here and there, so it's really not that bad. But it's there, and it's really bizarre when it happens. Positive anxiety is down a lot. I would say 65% less than it was. Man, because I had agoraphobia at first, and I know a lot of you have it, but it does get better in time. And just when you think you can't take it anymore, you live another day, and here I am. It's probably a year and a week maybe for me, because I just kept recording these videos over and over again. I just didn't want to give you a half-ass video. Let me see. Just pain in my body in general. I don't have it too bad anymore, but some days it's really bad. I would say it's probably about 40% less than it was, so that's good. You know, just being really tired, that hasn't changed none. A little better on some days, but some days it depends on the week, you know. It all depends on what's going on with my body and what benzo withdrawal wants to do. You know, like today and yesterday, not so bad. But like a week ago, you know, it was really intense. And you know, the more tired you are, at least it is for me, and it seems most people I've talked to, the more tired you are, the more symptoms you have. Sleep was rough for a little while. I'm still on Remeron. I'm on, what am I on? Almost 6.1 now from 6.7. So I'm tapering slightly, just a little bit, just to get me by. I can't really taper much faster because I have to try to work a full-time business. So I can't afford to be benzo withdrawal and Remeron withdrawal at the same time. So I'm just doing it really slow, and I'm pretty sure that Remeron is making my brain a lot worse, you know. But I got to do it slow. Just what I got to do if I want to survive it. My head, LSD feeling, it's less, but it needs to get a lot better because I still can't drive full time. I drive a little bit around town, but you know, which is good. But I always have. I didn't care. You know, I always figured if the old people can drive, you know, and they look like they're gonna kill everybody and murder themselves just by getting behind the wheel. So I figured if I can't, you know, I can drive a little bit. I just have to concentrate too hard, which that's, you know, since I have to concentrate so much, I won't drive long distances. Once in a great while, if I'm feeling okay, I'll do like a 15-minute drive. You know, and that's getting better than it used to be. So I'm hoping I can at least drive more by next year. But, you know, I'm not rushing anything. I don't care. You know, acceptance is really hard still. I don't think I'll ever fully accept it, but I think as I start to feel a little bit better, I can accept it a little bit better. But when you're really sick, acceptance is brutal. Visual issues are still really rough for me. I still hallucinate to a point. I've always had visual snow since I was kind of like a little kid, so that makes everything even worse. I still have flashing in my eyes, um, muscle twitching and stuff like that. It's all still there. But, I could deal with a lot of it. It's just, the brain stuff for me was always the worst. And that's what keeps me from doing a lot of things I need to do. It is getting better. And I know there's a lot more things. I mean, dizziness has been really bad lately. It's funny how you can't remember it when you live with it for so long. Dizziness has been bad, and lightheadedness. It's a little better today and it was a little better yesterday. But depending on how I sleep or whatever, I mean, it can get pretty bad. I actually had a good bout of vertigo after we moved with the flood. I was obviously brought on by stress and so much work, that my body couldn't handle. But I got through it. Pin pricking in my hands still. Neuropathy stuff still happens. But it's all a lot less, There's nothing that's 100% still there. The only thing that's hanging on for dear life is the brain stuff, the LSD feeling. But it's getting better. I mean, but it's way slower than the physical. I'm slowly, stomach is still a mess, but it's getting better. I'm slowly starting to add new foods in, but I'm talking slow. I'm eating green beans now, which is really weird because I've hated green beans for the 40 years of my life. And now all of a sudden I love green beans. So diet changes, which is really weird. Just your taste and stuff has changed. Mine has. But, I can add some like hot sauces now. I mean, as long as they're like natural stuff, nothing, no MSG. I can't do MSG. I get really sick. I mean, there was a few times that I made myself pretty sick with food just lately. I forgot what it was, but like I have really bad sugar issues, blood sugar issues, and the doctors just don't see it yet. And it's because I actually take care of myself, so my A1C numbers are fine. But that's because I eat no sugar or no breads or anything. If I actually did like a normal human, they'd probably have me on blood sugar medicine, which I really need to be on, to be honest. And I hate medicine, but I mean, I can't eat any bread. I can't eat gluten-free bread. I can't eat half a potato. I can't eat anything without my blood sugar going crazy. So, not really sure what to do with that. But, I'm going one day at a time here. But like I said, I'm at 6.1, 6.2, 6.1. I'm kind of balancing back and forth with on Remeron. One of the worst drugs I've been on. It puts me to sleep, but my sleep has been terrible this whole time. Now, I was gifted this smartwatch, Fit watch thing. It's called a Very Fit. It's not very accurate, but really thankful somebody gave it to me because it made me realize how crappy my sleep was. It's it was most of my nights are. Oh, and I get these bouts of where I cannot think, like everything goes blank. But again, that's a lot better too. Yeah, I'm pretty much lost on what I was saying. The sleep. I get, according to the watch, which I'm going to upgrade eventually for something better. But right now, this is saying that I get like 30 minutes of deep sleep a night, and like the rest is light sleep, which makes sense. Then that's gonna, that's pretty much what these sleep drugs or whatever do. So hopefully I'll keep going down slowly but surely on the Remeron, and a lot of people just say, "Why are you going so slow?" Well, I don't get the joy of having to just be at home. I have to actually work during benzo withdrawal. It fucking sucks. And a lot of people wonder how I do it. I just didn't have a friggin' choice. It's either that or go homeless. Don't have family I can stay with. So it's like live on the streets. And I will push and fight as much as I can. I mean, I was able to, which is good. I wasn't, there was a good 6 months I didn't go out of the house. But my girlfriend helped me through this whole thing. And I couldn't imagine I mean, there's other people out there that will help. But, when it's your own life, I mean, honestly, she has saved everything about me. It's amazing some people that can stand by you. And it's amazing the people that don't stand by you. I'm seeing friends from my childhood almost that are just blowing me off. And it just sucks. And that stresses me out. But anyway, back to symptoms. I always feel like I'm moving. One things I have a lot of, and it's not happening right now, but a good portion of the time is that my brain is always shaking. I get a lot of the inner vibrations and stuff like that, but one of the things, it just shakes. It just goes like this. Everything I see, my brain, it just goes like that. I'll lay down, my body feels like it's going up and down, up and down, up and down. I cannot wait till that stops. It's terrible. It's a terrible feeling, and if you get it, it will calm down. I mean, mine has calmed down, but it's still pretty harsh some days. At least I get some breaks from it. So my pee is still really yellow. For a while, it was really yellow and smelly, and then it got clearer for like a couple months and normal, and now it's back to smelling like bad pee again. I don't know what the deal is. My diet's really good. I mean, it's not just asparagus and stuff like that. It's just no matter what, it's always like it. I've had blood tests and stuff, so nothing's going on, at least as far as I can tell. Could just be something in my diet, but either way, it's really weird. I don't worry about it much anymore. Really bad muscle tension in my neck. But that could be anything. Nobody says it's benzo withdrawal, but it could be the way I sit. It could be the way I sit looking at this phone. But either way, it's always there. One thing that I know is benzo withdrawal syndrome is the crawling in the back of my neck. It feels like there's bugs and stuff under my neck that crawl. And it's not 24/7, but it's every day at some point. It's been like that for the last probably 7 months. It's gotten better, so hopefully it'll go away this year. Almost 20 minutes in, and I'm sure there's more, I'm sure there's more, but a year later, and I'm weak, I haven't done much any exercise really in a year. But I'm probably the healthiest I've ever been, other than the stress I've put myself through, and there's a lot. I still worry about, like, am I going to have a heart attack? Anything like that, I mean, some days are still real bad. But not as bad as they used to be. But they're real bad. So, I got a ways to go. Just trying to get my apartment back together. And get a couch again. And just a lot to deal with, State Farm and insurance claims and stuff like that. It's been a hell of a ride, I'll tell you that. 1 year, that's rough. Probably about a year and a week, really. Maybe even a little bit longer. Like I said, I recorded like 3 videos, and there was just no way. And this one's okay. I know there's more to all this. I mean, there always is. There's like probably 100 symptoms. And sometimes people can say 1,000 because you're really dealing with your whole entire nervous system freaking out. I mean, there's things, it's not just eating the wrong things or doing the wrong things. I mean, anything that get your system excited at all, it's like symptoms come on. But they're not lasting as long as they used to. But it depends on the stress, you know. I did one thing, this was before, this was kept me in a pretty big wave. I tried CBD oil, and I can't wait for the future because it made me feel so much better. But it also backfired and rebounded on me the next day into about 3 or 4 days of really bad brain fog. Oh yeah, brain fog is still there. Well, of course I've always had that, but it can still be pretty intense a year later. But the CBD gave me really bad brain fog and made my LSD stuff worse. It just made everything worse. But the first like 12 hours, you know, like when I first took it, oh man, I haven't been that relaxed in a long time. It was really nice. I wish I would have known about that and L-theanine before benzos at all. But my body's not strong enough for it yet. That's one thing, is my CNS is still really weak, which is totally sucks because that means I still can't eat a lot. I still can't take any medicines, you know, no aspirin, no nothing, which is fine, I guess. I don't really need that, but I would like to take, you know, CBD would be great. You know, that really helped me, but can't do it yet. You know, I'll try again in 6 months, see how it goes. But I know for the future, after I heal, mostly heal anyway, CBD will probably really help me. And yeah, that's it. Life is okay. Not really, but I mean, compared to the first few months, and then sometimes like month 7 or whatever, you know, it goes so back and forth. Some of those months were so horrific. I still cry a lot, you know, I still get really down. I get more depressed now because it's been so long. It's hard for me to accept that it's been a year and I'm still sick. You know, I can't stay in public places long. I can't drive still long distance. But, you know, there is a positive. You know, I actually went into a shopping mall the other day. And although I was only walking through the mall for about 5 minutes to go to a store that my girlfriend wanted to go to, and then 5 minutes out, it was pure mental sensory overload. But I didn't have a panic attack and I didn't freak out. It was just hard. Hard, you know. It's hard for a lot of people. So I wouldn't keep doing that because it will just make my CNS weaker and give me more symptoms. But I'm starting to be able to do things I didn't think I could do 6 months ago. So things get better. It's just hard to tell because it's so slow. You just gotta keep looking back like I'm doing. You know, I went to a mall, didn't freak out. 6 months ago, I would have went to a mall, I would have freaked out. And you gotta push yourself, but don't push too hard. I mean, it's also good. It's good for you to get out. You know, even when it's hard, but don't make yourself sick doing it. Because the more you do something again, the better reaction you'll have for the future. At least it is for me. I wish you guys all well. You know, I know I haven't been doing a lot of videos. It's just been an effing hassle, to be honest. I haven't had time. I want to do videos and stuff. I just rarely have the time. Trying to keep the business up and the flood and everything else that happened. I still haven't seen half my family since I moved back, and since December. That's been rough. A lot of people complaining. So like, why don't you come to our show? Why don't you come do this, come do that? People don't pay attention. I still have a massive brain injury. And a lot of people don't understand that. Just because I can talk and look at you, you have no idea what's going on in my head. I walked into a mall for the first time in a year, And inside, I thought there was a possibility I could die. Do you think I can go to a concert? No. I wish people would pay attention. But I've learned after a year, you have to stop forcing people, thinking that they should listen, because most people don't. They just think after a year, okay, you should be better, because they see, I'll take pictures outside and they'll think I'm all the better. But why should I have to explain myself every time I take a photo? Just not gonna. Every once in a while I'll make a post or I'll talk about it in whatever forum and say, where I'm at. I'm easy to find. It's my name. So all I know is I still have hard times. I have hard times walking. I have a hard time moving. I have a hard time functioning. I have a hard time. It's a brain injury. And doctors don't understand that. And there's nothing we can do but wait. If you're going through benzo withdrawal right now, nobody believes you. You're not crazy. You can't think yourself out of this stuff. Trust me. I would have thought myself out of it 6 months ago. It's one of the hardest things I've ever dealt with. And I see people dealing with it harder than me. I can't even imagine. A lot of people are going to think you should be in a hospital. A lot of people think you should be on other medications. Fight for your life, because, unless you really need those medications, you're in this spot for a reason. Get off those meds. But I'm no doctor, don't listen to me. But all I know is I was only on Xanax and then switched over to Klonapin for a 3-month total time, at a dose that my doctor said was a baby dose. And he kind of laughed. And I took his advice, because I was paying him $150, I think, per session. I was so scared. And I took his advice. I didn't know of benzo stuff in forums or anything then. And here I am a year later telling you that I still feel electric. I still feel this or that. I still can't even eat regular foods. I had to go completely gluten-free. No, not even a chip with maltodextrin on it. It just sucks. It just sucks. But again, it gets better. Just slow. I was trying to push this to 30 minutes on the nose, but I don't think we're going to make it. Anyway, I'll update you again. Just expect I'm a little busy right now, trying to get my life and everything back together. You can always ask questions to see how I'm doing under other videos, and I can make a quick update. But other than right now, I'm going to go eat and lay down for a little bit. So you guys have a great day. All you fighters out there, just keep fighting away, day by day, minute by minute. You know how it goes. You know the routine. If you can get out and take walks, go for it. There's a great Facebook page that was made now, Walking Through Withdrawal. Check it out. It's good. If you can't get out, that's okay. But if you can, push a little bit. Anywho, have a great day, you guys. We'll talk soon.